So once you get through that, you have some due diligence process. We mentioned a few of these things: 3 years returns, financial statements. We're looking at any trends in the financials, and so maybe if you're 3 years, 5 years out, one of the things I had a call from an associate vet down in Arkansas, and he called and he said, I'm really upset. We have a practice, and we're trying to buy in, but the valuation price just seems extremely high. Can you take a look at this? And so when you look at the valuation, what happened is they were able to make some substantial improvements in their practice over the last 3 years. And so you see the trend. So they'll usually look at 3 years of financial statements. They went from 2.1 million top line revenue to $3 million in 3 years. And then the profitability went from 300,000 net all the way up to about 750. And so you see this big incline, and I asked the question is, the valuation looked good, but the question is that what happened? And so when I started talking to the vet, I said, what are some of the things that have changed in the practice that made this valuation? And he listed off A, B, C. Here's all the things that we changed. Our compliance was better. We got we had more and more phone calls, getting clients in the door, and so. A lot of changes within the practice that increased the valuation. And so when they did the valuation, they saw this trend from going from 15 to 17. So what they did was they used 17's numbers as the valuation price and based the price off of that. And 18, I asked him, did 18 still look as good? Yeah. And so, he was looking at, unlucky for the practice, he didn't have a non-compete. Lucky for him, and he doesn't have a non-compete with the practice, so he's looking at starting his own practice because he doesn't want to pay this high price that what he thinks is high for the practice he's working for. But definitely they look at trends. If your practice is up and down, maybe you have a good year for 2 of the 3 years, but one maybe down year, they'll do a weighted average. And so, if you can, so you can see how when you have those different, you can think at least 3 years out if you're looking to do this. So. Also interesting on the due diligence process, one of the things is, especially if you're looking at a buyout from a corporation, they'll definitely want to talk to the vets that are working in the practice, because I've seen situations where the owner was negotiating a buyout and wasn't really telling anybody else at this point, and so made the deal, or made an initial deal. Going into the due diligence process, they start talking to the associate vets about their compensation, whether they wouldn't stay on, and they wouldn't stay on. And what happened, that killed the deal. And so you do want to be upfront when you're. The idea is sometimes you don't want to tell everybody what your intentions are, but you do really want to be upfront with your staff and say, this is something I'm thinking about. Is this something that you would consider helping me entertain?